Welcome. Welcome to another session of Power BI Desktop. Today we are going to learn about data analysis expressions in Power BI. You must have seen me writing lots of formulas in the Power BI language, which is DAX language. And this language has helped us make some formulas into the system, make some modifications in the views, etc. So formally, let's deep dive into data analysis expressions and learn and see why and how it is important. Formally, it is a library of functions and operators that can be combined with formulas to build formulas, expressions in Power BI desktop in specific. Along with this, once you know DAX, you can also use the same query expressions or the formula forming method or the syntax to query Azure Analysis Services, SQL Server Analysis Services, Power Pivot in Excel in general. So why do we need data analysis expressions? This was a question asked to me by one of the student. DAX is needed where a designer wants to have his own formula. They want to have its own measures based on the internal working of the organization. It's not so easy. Like if you want to make your own plus operator to mean something else to you, you would have to write a DAX expression. If it is a formula which is not covering a mathematical expression, for example, what if I want to know what was my sale in the month of January for the values or the object socks, for example? In this case, you would either would have to filter a lot of the items to get to that value, or you can directly build a formula into your Power BI desktop which would give you a value by default in one place. So it saves lots of user clicks to reach the same information. So these are the formulas which end your designer or the owner of this Power BI desktop dashboard would make to make life simpler for him as well as others. For example, if there is a constant query of what is my daily, weekly, monthly, or fortnightly sale, in this case, your user would either have to select those date ranges and get to know whatever it is, but a better way of doing things is write down those measures using the DAX expression, and then you can just put all those formulas into one of the KPI cards as one of the visualization items in your Power BI desktop. On those lines, let's have a look at what are the syntax of the data analysis expressions. In general, you would always see a DAX formula always starts with an equal to sign. That sign means whatever you get from the right hand side of the equal to sign would be shown as an output to the measure or the card, or in layman's terms it is a formula, and it would most likely have plus, minus, asterisk, forward slash, less than equal to, greater than equal to, double ampersand operators to the right of the equal to sign. And it will use the tables and the columns as its input to the function most likely, or else it would query the self DAX functions given provided out of the box by the Microsoft. It would either return a scalar value or a table value. When I say scalar value, that means it would be a unique singular value, right? And a tabular value would have number of rows or columns or both. So you can imagine the DAX query beginning with n equal to, having some plus minus multiplication, division, double ampersand operations towards the right of it. After performing those specific operations, what would be returned back as an evaluation of those expression would be either a unique singular value. It can be a word or a number or a percentage or whatever, that would be a countable singular finite value, or it would be a table value. if you have background of programming, you would always have a function and that would return singular value or a table value. It's the same concept carried over in this DAX query. Overall, whatever you write with the equal to sign, right, is known as an expression. So an expression can contain all or any of these operators, constants, or references to the column. So when we say references to the column, that means if we want to duplicate a column or if you want to equate a column to the value of another column, at that time it is a reference to the column. So far so good. Let's see an example.